Yes, thank you very much, Ursula, and good morning or afternoon, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to today's webinar, in which I will introduce you to the new Zeta 620, the cost-effective entry into the world of fully automated wire processing. My name is Cornel Durer. I'm responsible for the business development in the industrial market segment at Comax. I also represent Comax in the Smart Cabinet Building Initiative. Before we get into the Zeta 620 and the motivation for automation, I'd like to briefly introduce the Smart Cabinet Building Initiative. Some of you probably know this initiative already. So Smart Cabinet Building is a setup of five major European manufacturers and partners for the panel shop industry. We offer solutions for modern, state-of-the-art control cabinet builders. We are all mid-sized companies and like to pool our competence and know-how and present this in webinars, some facets and comprehensive solutions. Our vision, more output with the same team through automation and optimization of work steps. In this picture, you can see our Smart Cabinet Building circle. In the center, the very essential digital twin. This digital twin gets prepared in the engineering from where the data for each individual process step will be exported. In the first approach, after the engineering, the mechanical preparation is done. This can be either done on the fully automatic processing center to prepare the cabinet or with some manual work steps. The continuous steps as well always offer the option for fully automatic steps or manually or partially guided working steps. These are the component assembly and the component marking. In parallel, the wire processing can take place already, and afterwards the cabinet assembly will take place, including the wiring. Once finished, the whole system gets tested and either mounted into your end product or shipped to your customers. So this is the whole cycle of the Smart Cabinet Building offering, and today we will focus on the wire processing, where we have a look at the entry into the fully automated wire processing with the new Zeta 620. So I would like to cover three topics. First, the question, why do we automate? Then the requirements for automation. And of course, main topic, introduce you to the Zeta 620 and its benefits. So why do our customers automate? There are many different reasons, and one of these might apply to you as well. First of all, the increasing cost pressure, especially nowadays where raw material and individual parts cost more and more. Your end product will become more costly, and either you have to optimize your process to keep the cost under control, or you have to increase the cost for your customer as well. Then the demand for the quality is rising. Customers expect shorter delivery times, or you just need to have short delivery times in your company to meet your production workflow. Then typically in the cabinet building, we look into small batch sizes down to lot size 1. You have most commonly last minute changes, which will show up out of whatever reason. And the topic that not just hit the last 2 years, but became even worse, the lack of workers, the lack of skilled workers, to satisfy your production process. Then you may have an increasing requirement for a proper and a consistent documentation. And finally, the planning cycle becomes more volatile as well. This again got even worse in the recent months and years due to the problem in the supply chain, where raw materials and probably cabinet components are just not available. You have to switch priorities, change the plans, and have a very agile planning in your production. So each of these issues itself is a good reason to take a step forward for automation. However, I would like to explain two of these points a little bit in more detail. When searching Google for labor shortage, it currently delivers around 133 million results. So this topic obviously is very present. According to studies, the number of active working persons, e.g., for example, in Germany, will be falling from today 44 million employees in an optimistic scenario by only 10%, but possibly even by 25% over the next 40 years. Quite significant. Or in the US, in October 2021, there were approximately 4 million more vacancies than job seekers. So many companies could not cover their open jobs. Or back to Europe, in Switzerland, some studies show that in Canton of Zurich, we will look into a labor shortage of 200,000 workers by 2050, which is about 17% of the estimated demand. So these numbers show that this is reality and typically covers many different areas and jobs. The main cause for this development is the demographic changes, with the baby boomers being retired. In addition, the workers become choosy and are looking for attractive jobs. The interests and demands of employees change. It is predicted that in the future we will no longer talk about unemployment, but we will see that there are not enough employees to cover the demand of the companies. So how does this situation look in your company? Many industries are already complaining about a large growth inhibiting shortage of skilled workers. The consequence is that companies cannot manage their targeted growth anymore, which becomes critical for your business. And important, when talking about automation solutions, skilled workers will not be rationalized away, but they are used in a more targeted and efficient manner. This ensures higher efficiency, more enjoyment at work, and less fluctuation. A second important reason for automation is the time and price pressure and the necessity to increase productivity. In this diagram, we see the comparison between the manual wire processing and the automated wire processing. We can clearly see that data preparation takes up to 67 seconds per wire when reading the schematics manually, compared to only 45 seconds when preparing the data in a digital manner. The wire processing itself is the biggest difference. Here we can speed up by factor 10. And finally, the wire laying is again faster because we have a production optimized and labeled order of the prepared wires. This shows we can actually save up to 2/3 of the working time which otherwise a highly qualified and skilled worker has to spend. In an electrical cabinet with 500 wires, the whole process can save up to 25 hours of your valuable employees. Another big benefit, the work area is occupied for less time and you can produce significantly more on the same floor space. In addition, you produce consistently high quality and reduce the effort that is required for troubleshooting. These numbers shown here apply to batch size 1, with an eye on further optimizations and especially with repetitive orders, savings of up to 80% can be achieved with the automated wire preparation. This is because preparing is significantly reduced again in the case of repeated orders. Automation has long since arrived on the market. Many companies do this already and are more competitive. We already have 20 years of experience with customers automating their cabinet building workflow and benefiting from this increase of productivity. This allows cost-efficient production even in locations with higher labor costs. So what are the requirements for automation? There are several topics. We will look especially into two main topics here. The first one is standardization of wires and terminals. If you have a wide range of different terminals, length of ferrules, etc., it will become more difficult to automate everything you need. You can reduce the variety of wire types, maybe even cross sections or colors in use. Whatever can be simplified. We can increase the automation level and therefore decrease the cost again. We'll look into such a topic afterwards again. Second point is the digital data preparation. With a full digital twin that provides all the data you see on the right, describing the required wire production, so including the wire end process, the wire type, cross-section and color, the length of the wire, and the source and destination labeling. With this data, we can already start the automatic production. This data preparation can be achieved basically on two different approaches. First of all, you use a full ECAD system that is drawing the whole cabinet in 3D and does a virtual wiring, including the evaluation of the wire length. Or a little bit simpler solution, Comax is providing a digital lean wiring software which allows to do a virtual wiring on a 2D mechanical drawing, and with this evaluating the wire length and preparing the full set of production data. So with this data prepared, we can now look into the new Zeta 620. With the Zeta 620, you can easily prepare complex orders with a routing optimized sequence of wires. Each wire is pre-labeled, and with this you get a high profitability even with small quantities. The machine comes in a compact and fully integrated design that fits most probably as well in your location. The machine supports a cross-section range from 0.5 to 6 square millimeters or AWG 20 to AWG 10. The machine can load up to 24 different wires, which are available for processing then at any time. So let's look into a few dedicated topics. First of which is the wire end processing. The most common option in cabinet building are ferrules, where we offer modules as well to cover the full cross-section range from 0.5 to 6 square millimeters in a fully automatic crimp process. Second one is ultrasonic welding with a high reliability and flexibility, where we can provide welding length of 5 to 19 millimeters. And last but not least, we have a half stripping option on this machine as well. This can either be used in situations where you don't need any wire end processing at all, or if you want to crimp some rarely used terminals, like for example, ring terminal on a ground wire. And this could be then just a manual step after the fully automatic preparation of the bundles. So these are actually the three options the machine will cover. Another very important topic is the clear labeling of each wire with the source and destination name. This can be done either with inkjet marking with two printers in typically white and black color for best readability, and this offers continuous printing as well, which will be very helpful, for example, when troubleshooting certain errors in your cabinet. The other option, the picture on the right, is a tube marking that provides freely adjustable labeling, and they are always labeled with the best contrast. So these are the two options for labeling. And I would like to explain as well the bundling concept of our machines. So all wires are finally bundled in either a sequence or a round bundle. The sequence bundle shown on the left provides directly the exact order of the wiring sequence, for example, for a component-oriented wiring in the end, which will speed up the whole wiring process again. Alternatively, we can do as well round bundles, where we just prepare all the wires for this component in one round bundle, as shown on the picture on the right. Alternatively, we can do as well a batch production if you have higher quantities which you would like to produce on this machine. So to show a bit more about the machine, I would like to run a quick video which gives a good impression on how this machine will work. Please give me a second. So here you can see the Zeta 620 with the integrated printers. So compared to your machines, we don't need extra floor space anymore. So they are nicely integrated. The user interface itself is well known and well achieved by customers. It's the same as other Zeta family members are providing as well. The automatic wire selector can load up to 24 wires. After loading the wires, they are first cut and stripped. And afterwards, the automatic crimping module, the crimp ferrules, they will apply the required ferrule. So from these modules, there are different crimp modules available. Here we have a CMF20 module and as well a loose piece module. In this case, for 4 square millimeter ferrules, there is one module as well for 6 square millimeter, or we offer a new module for 4 and 6 square millimeter ferrules all together. And this is the result we get out of a sequence production on the Zeta 620. So let's switch back to the presentation again. I hope you can see the slide again. So this is now a summary of the whole Zeta product line. So the Zeta 620 is the latest add-on to a series which was actually offered to customers since 20 years. There is the Zeta 630 as well available, which offers as well 2 stations to attach different process modules. Then the Zeta 640 offers in the standard configuration 5, and the Zeta 650 8 stations. If this number is not sufficient yet, you can even add an extension with an additional 5 stations, so we can install up to 13 different process stations in total. The performance varies as well. On the Zeta 620, we can do about 700 wires per hour when only stripping, and when attaching ferrules on both sides, we can produce around 360 wires. On the other machines, the number is then roughly double. As mentioned before, the Zeta 620 can load up to 24 wires, while the other machines can take up to 36 wires. Bundling can be done on the one side, on the 620. On 630 to 650, we can do a bundling on 2 sides. Then all machines, of course, offer printers, ferrule crimping, and ultrasonic welding. From the Zeta 630 upwards, we have then as well additional options. For example, a resistance welding module. We can do tinning. We offer many different crimp modules, as well seal modules, and of course, quality tools. So this depends a lot on your requirement, the variation you have in your production, the number of produced wires you have, etc. So our sales personnel will be happy to support you in finding the correct machine for your production. But of course, Comax will always support you as well after you bought the machine. So we not only offer the equipment, we offer as well digital services. For example, for data preparation, production planning, and production optimization. We offer financial services, so you could lease the machine as well. And of course, probably most importantly, the technical support with Comax Care, which supports the optimized maintenance plans, support plans in different levels, where you can choose from a wide range to match exactly your needs. Then Comax Academy offers trainings for the machines, which is very essential to have an efficient and reliable production. Last but not least, spare parts are of course always available in case you need some wear parts to be replaced. So we come to the summary. What are your advantages when looking into fully automated wire production? You get a significant increase in productivity depending on your products, on your current workflows. You can achieve 50% or even higher. With the preparation of the digital twin, you get complete and consistent documentation. You are cost effective even from lot size 1 upwards. You will gain a continuous high quality in your products. The wiring becomes much simpler thanks to labeling and bundling of the prepared wires. Your workspace becomes more attractive. There's more going into the digital direction, which is essential, especially if the new generation entering the job market, the millennials and Generation Z. And last but not least, you get a return on investment after a reasonable time slot. But of course, this depends a lot on your produced numbers and exact requirements on the machine. So this is what I want to show you on the Zeta 620. But I would like to end with a few information on smart cabinet building again. The contacts in case you have questions now either on the 620 or in general to smart cabinet building partners, please contact us. So for Weidmüller, it's Christian Dülme. For Comax, it's myself. On Zucken, Achim Stirner will be happy to answer your questions. Armbruster Engineering, it's Timo Tessin. And for Invent Hoffmann, Hermann Nagel will be happy to answer your questions. Then, since we have a webinar series, we provide every second month a new interesting webinar on either process topics or some individual products of our partners. The next webinar will take place on July 27th with the topic Picking, Labeling, Assembling. And all this information on upcoming webinars you can find on this website, smartcabinetbuilding.com, and the webinars are shown in the Events tab. As well, you can find all past webinars on this page, and so you can even look into the webinars afterwards. So we are coming to the end. Thanks a lot for your attention. Now, if you have questions, please let me know in the chat. So far, I just see one question, whether the webinar was recorded. Yes, it is recorded, as I just mentioned. It will be made available on the website I showed before, smart-cabinet-building.com in the section Events. If there are no more questions, you're just in time. So thanks a lot for your attention, and I'm wishing you a very nice day. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.